Welcome back to Ravens Today. I'm your host, Connor Gioffreda, giving you all the latest updates and anything and all things Ravens. This is our 100th episode, everyone. So thank you all for tuning in and watching, and keep subscribing to the channel and liking the videos. Let's dive into the latest Ravens news I have for you today. So pretty much this video is going to cover a majority of injuries, and since it's our final preseason game tomorrow, we're going to cover my prediction on that. But this video is going to cover a lot about Lamar Jackson. We're gonna dive right into it, okay? And we will get into that. But first of all, gotta go into the any injuries on any players that have been not at practice first. So first up, so Jair Alexander, who has not been to practice in the last couple of weeks, was not practicing down on the field, but he was on the side field going through a workout. This is good news for the Ravens because, and fans as well, because he's working out. He's just not in full gear yet and not practicing with the team. This just means that he's going through the motions a little bit, seeing how the swelling is doing. So nothing to really worry about right here. John Harbaugh did give us an update on Petra Ricard, saying that he is dealing with some soft tissue injury, so we'll see him back next week. No concerns there whatsoever. As well as Zay Flowers wasn't at practice, Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely weren't at practice either. Emory Jones wasn't, Adisa Isaac wasn't, William Quinku wasn't, and Chidobe Awuzie was not either. Awuzie is also dealing with an injury, some tissue injury as well. Harbaugh expects him to be back before the spring season opener. So, again, just some going through the motions type of thing, and we're all going to see these players come back at some point before the regular season opener. So good news there. Let's dive into the Lamar. So a spokesperson for the Ravens the other day came out after Lamar fell down, was gingerly holding his wrist a little bit there. They said that he was stepped on and he's fine. Didn't show up to practice today. And I called this. There was, but he was holding his wrist his throwing wrist, his right hand, like this. But he fell down. And they're saying he's fine, but he's not showing up to practice. Harbaugh did say that he had X-rays done. So, and quote, our prayers were answered, and he'll be fine. Lamar will be at practice next week. So, we dodged a really, really deadly bullet there. My thing is, why even say that he tripped and then he had to? I don't. You know what? I don't know what the heck's going on there. It's just weird how the Ravens have kept this really hush hush. I get why, because they don't want to expose any injuries that could be devastating for them in the regular season for any team to capitalize on. So, but it's just a whole situation that it's mind-boggling to me just what how the Ravens have handled this whole situation. But we'll dive into a little bit what Adam Schefter had to say about this. So his hot take was that if it was anything that was nothing, John Harbaugh wouldn't have to pray that Lamar Jackson's X-rays would have turned out the way they did. It sounds like Lamar Jackson's foot injury is scarier than the Ravens have known. This is a super, super hot take, by the way. It's not like Schefter knows what's going on in the Ravens facility. Mind you, he's a very credible, reporter for the NFL, and he's one of the most reliable sources in the NFL. But the Ravens really keep it hush-hush when it comes to injuries, especially when it comes to a star player like Lamar Jackson. But Lamar posted a comment on the Twitter video of it with just a laughing emoji, or the Instagram video of it, just a laughing emoji. It just goes to show that Schefter's take was off in my opinion and in everyone else's. So Sarah Ellison mentioned that Lamar Jackson doesn't have an agent to leak news to reporters. Lamar doesn't leak. Ravens like keeping injury info in-house. So this is a speculation from Adam Schefter with a conclusion that takes a leap. It is a leap. It is a hot take that he solely believes that this injury was a lot scarier than the Ravens were leading on. I think that the Ravens were kind of taking this as a precautionary measure. Lamar got up and he walked away. It's not like his foot was broken, he tore anything. He was holding, and he did go like stay in for a couple more plays until he was like, I need to get this checked out real quick just to make sure. It was that type of scenario where it's like, okay, you're fine. Like, this is all speculation here. The Ravens told him, oh, you're fine. Like, this looks okay. I would just take a couple days rest just to make sure that nothing is super serious. And if you feel like you're okay, come back to practice. So Lamar pretty much went, okay, I'm just gonna take the day off, and then I'm gonna come to practice the next time the Ravens are there. So this is totally like blown out of proportion in some sense, where people just think that this is how it went and blew it to this whole thing where it's like, season's over, Ravens season's over. It's like, no. Ravens keep it in house. That's my all of that whole monologue there was my theory on how the Ravens handled that and how Lamar handled that. So expect him back to practice and on 100% form. And he's probably going to get asked questions about it. He's going to say, yeah, I was just fine. I just wanted to make sure that I was good, but I am 100% positive that everything is good with Lamar Jackson. Moving on. So another recent article that came out. I love this so much. I've made it clear on this channel that I despise Greg Roman. I despise the fact that he was kept on for as long as he was on the Ravens. I like the one MVP year Lamar had with Greg Roman as OC. That was great, but then Lamar evolved. Greg Roman did not. It's the sole reason why the Chargers will never ever. I'll make this a hot take here. They will never ever go to the Super Bowl or make it past the round one or wild card round with Greg Roman as OC. And Justin Herbert will never evolve is because Greg Roman has a system that only works for a run-heavy team. Ravens used that in the 2019 MVP campaign with Lamar, and then teams caught on to it. Never changes his playbook. And this is a fan looking into this, but Ravens fans, please give me an example of what Greg Roman has used where it's outside of his scheme. Everyone remembers the James Prochet pass that was picked off in the end zone. That was Greg Roman trying something new, and then it just blew apart. This is solely why I don't like offensive coordinators that don't adapt or don't don't coordinate, pun intended, with their quarterback on what they want. This is why Monken works for the Ravens, because under Monken, Lamar Jackson has evolved beautifully to the point where he had his third unofficial MVP campaign last season. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is article came out in 4 seasons, with offensive coordinator Greg Roman, Baltimore primarily huddled up and ran the play that was called. Under Monken, Jackson can slide the pass protection to one side if he sees a defender blitzing or switch a receiver's route if the cornerback lines up a certain way. This means, to me, that in 4 years working under Greg Roman never allowed Lamar Jackson to make the adjustments on the line that Lamar saw. Monken tells him, if you see it, make the adjustment. That's how it works. That mind boggles me the fact that we kept him that long. It's like anything new that I bring up about it, I will bring up. But comment down below on your thoughts on Greg Roman. Your thoughts on that. I predicted this. Greg Roman never helped in Lamar's evolution. He helped him enough, but he never helped in that next step. He was the part of the reason why I'm going to say this to this day. I believe that he is part of the reason why Lamar Jackson got injured in those 2 seasons. 100% believe that he was part of that reason because he never allowed Lamar, like this article said, could never make the adjustments on the line so that way when he saw the blitz. My comment down below your thoughts in a more lighter note, final preseason game prediction. Remember, this is do or die for some players, guys that are in outside the bubble looking in. This includes David Ojabo, in my opinion. I do believe that we're going to see a lot of defensive highlights here again because Zach Orr's defense is just like evolved from season 1 to season 2. So, season 1 of Zach Orr's defense as defensive coordinator to season 2 of Zach Orr's defense. I think that the offense will make a look better in terms of Cooper Rush. I think it'll look a little bit better. I don't think any, we're going to have Rasheen Ali probably take the majority of the running backs rep counts. So nothing really surprises me there. I'm really hoping for a LeJontay Wester touchdown. I think that Cooper Rush, pun intended, rushed the opportunity of passing the LeJontay Wester, and that caused him to get picked off. So I think that Rush is going to see his opportunity for Wester a lot, in a way where he doesn't throw to him immediately and allows him to, make the adjustment that's needed for the pass. I do think Tez Walker's going to make some plays again. Maybe TJ Champa gets an interception, but I think that the Ravens will handle the Commanders beautifully in the preseason, and we're really going to see who wants it most in terms of a roster spot on the Ravens. So really looking forward to this last preseason game. It's do or die for any player that's looking on the outside looking. Thank you for tuning in to Ravens Today. I'm your host, Connor Gioffreda. Again, thank you guys so much for tuning in to the 100th episode. Keep subscribing to the channel and like the videos. Catch you all later.